Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Tea Time. All things PR and brands. Y'all know I love, love, love talking PR and brands with other professionals that are doing cool things in the space. And today I have a pretty dope guest. With it being Women's History Month, I really like talking to women that are making their own history because I think that's what it's about. As much as we study other people's history, we are really looking to cement our own legacy, right? So today I'm going to bring someone that has definitely been pounding the pavement and making moves of her own and definitely making history in her own right. So let me introduce you to the founder of Dollface PR, Miss Ballinger. How you
Oh my
doing?
gosh, I just love that introduction. Thank you so much.
Ma'am, let me tell
You.
you, you deserve that and so much more. So I want you to get right into it and let the people know about your company,
Yes,
but how you got there,
yes,
because everybody don't start in the middle, everybody don't start at the top, and you started on the grind. So let the people know the struggle is real. We're all in it together, but how you kind of got to where you are now.
yes. So again, my name is Dalisia Ballinger, and I am the Chief Marketing Officer for Dollface Public Relations. I've been doing PR for about 5, 6 years now, and really, it just truly began as a passion, something that I love to do as a journalist, and then PR just kind of came as a segue, and it just it was something I was just really good at, and I was like, wow, and it was really natural, and I just absolutely loved it, and so it also came after a really big life changes, being pregnant and homeless, and having a baby, things like that. I had to figure it out, and I realized PR was my niche. Specifically just working with different people and being people are like, wow, like did you do that? I'm like, yeah, and it just came off really, really natural. But I specialize in optimizing brands, getting brands started, and of course, like you said, just going out hitting the paved work and assisting clients with it, whatever they need when it comes down to the publicity sector.
Hold on. You said something. I gotta put my glasses on now because I wrote down some things. Um, you talked about your passion.
Yes,
You talked about journalism, so that's writing.
yes.
And then you said homeless, and you lost me there. So I need the audience to understand really where you came from and
Absolutely.
how you developed this passion, how you
Oh, yes.
recognized that this was it for you, and how you use that passion to build now what you have, building a new legacy for yourself.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
I initially, as a child, I loved English. I loved writing, and I did poetry a lot when I was young. And so I knew that the writing part of it was everything for me. And so when I went to college and everything, I was in and out trying to figure out things. I think we all kind of go through that through college times. And um, after then, life just kind of came about and kind of turned me away from my educational studies. So through there, I ended up, like I said, I ended up getting pregnant. And at the time, my child's father, he was addicted to drugs, and I was in an abusive relationship at the time. And I ran with just the clothes on my back. And at the time, I found out I was pregnant, and I was living on the streets at the time. And by the time I had my son, before he was turned into the so before he turned 1 years old, he had heart surgery, and that's when I made the promise. I promised my son. I said, I am going to try my hardest for you, everything that I can. And so I went back to the drawing board and I said, well, what is it that I enjoy doing the most, and what can I do to make a career out of that? And I went to writing, and I'm like, well, how can I really incorporate this into my life? I knew that that was something that I wanted to do, but I didn't know how to go by it. And so I get back into the work environment, and I got this corporate office, and I'm looking all over the city, and I'm just kind of like, this isn't it. And I left for lunch and did not return. Did not know Did not know how I was going to pay a bill or anything after that. But just kind of networking, and I knew that there was someone that worked for a local newspaper here. She just always kind of loved the stuff that I talked about on Facebook, and so I just reached out and was like, "Hey, I'm ready." And she told me, she said, "If I give you this opportunity and you don't take it, don't ever ask me for anything else." And I was like, "Ooh, so that means I have to be ready for this." And I did. And she got me to the editor. The editor at the time, Bernard Smith, he was like, "Hey, what is it that you want to do?" And I said, "I want to write." He hired me that same day.
Mm.
And here we are, 6 years later. So it's been an amazing ride. And so for my career as a journalist, that's how I ended up establishing just those connections. A lot of people know me as a journalist, but again, when you're talking about the segue of public relations, it was just a natural niche that just came to me. But I had to, of course, break it down to see what niche that I could be really good at, because we all know that public relations, it's broad, it's huge. And so I had to like narrow it down and see what it was that I could be, that I could dominate. And it's just been an amazing ride. An
She said
amazing
dominate.
5 years.
Dominate.
Yes.
Okay. I feel that. I felt
Yes.
that.
Yes.
Felt that. Um, Break it down for the people. What is PR to you? What is public relations to you?
Public relations is storytelling. I put it all in
Mm.
one word. It's effective storytelling and being able to put it on a broad scale for others to be able to feel what you're putting out there. I think that's the beauty of being a journalist, because you already have that mindset of being able to tell stories. So just being able to take what a client is giving and being able to tell
Mm.
their stories and put that on a broad scale, just in simple terms, that's pretty much it.
Okay, I'm
Storytelling.
gonna get messy, real messy. So when we get clients that think that they know what the story is you should be pitching, and they feel like this is the thing, as a one, as a journalist, and two, as a PR professional, we see things different.
Absolutely.
We speak a different language. So what is your best advice to clients first in regards to when you think you know it all and you hire a professional that tells you something different?
Yeah.
How do you be receptive to that?
Well,
And you could even talk about even looking at your own story. You tell your story, but I might see it different. I might find
mhm.
gems in it that you missed. So how do you tell your clients that, hey, I know you think that's important, but let
Mhm.
me direct this ship?
Now, let me tell you this, Mackenzie, before I signed any contract, any contract with any potential clients, etc., we have that understanding that you are in need of a boost in something that you can't do. Because if that's the case, don't hire me. And that's just, I'm really, because I'm a super creative, and I want to, and that's the thing as far as my company, I want to be able to have that flexibility in knowing that I can be creative as much as I want with your story. Because at the end of the day, if you had the tricks, if you knew, we wouldn't be here. So my thing is, let's just get that understanding out the way, and once that's done, then we can move forward with that. But even with that, even after the contract is signed, sometimes a client may be all in the know for it and then kind of start switching up, and I'm
Mm.
just like, hey, either, that's when the choices come into play. Like, hey, I don't mind giving you your money back. If that
Not with
doesn't
the
mean, because
mess.
this needs to be my environment in order for
Yeah.
me to be able to produce. I have to be able to be clear minded in knowing that whatever client that I have, that we are going to be concise as far as what I can bring to the table.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be some type of issue, with that, then especially with my creative process and what I like to do, then that's not the environment that I worked hard for to be in. And I would rather just to keep the stress levels down, because I'm all about peace. I'm all about zen in my business. And if I can't get that with the client, then we have to revert back to going back to the table because I won't work with you.
I started this platform simply to help educate non PR professionals about what PR is. And then also because I think PR professionals sometimes we like hearing other ideas from our peers, right?
Absolutely.
But to continue to educate the public on public relations and why it's important to their business. Talk to the public about the different genres of PR and then your favorite and why. Because I think most people believe PR is all about celebrity status and entertainment and
Oh yes.
sports figures. And there's so much more to it. I actually truly believe that every industry has to have PR to survive, whether they're doing it themselves or they have an
Mhm.
agency. So, talk about that and kind of your specialty because you have one, you have a couple.
Yeah, I feel you. Well, let me tell you, just to elaborate what you said. A lot of people, especially like you said, non-PR people and people that just want the what I like to call the sexy part of
Yes.
PR. People love the people love the results, but the work that takes to getting there, that's usually the issue for a lot of people that's kind of coming into the field when they need a PR professional. And what people have to realize again, it's all about what you have and the content that you have already for us to be able to take that and be able to effectively create a story, generate more traffic to you or your brand. Um, and again, it all depends on what you have. You have event PR, you have corporate PR, you have, oh my goodness, there's so many niches when it comes to PR. My favorite per se is I love event PR. And event PR is, you're dealing with the masses and and people, especially in this time frame, especially with Corona, things of that nature. People are ready to be outside. People are wanting events and where to go to. And I like to take on brands and clients that are offering these specific type of events and and put them out on the scales where people are like, yes, I have to go there. And so, and I do, I effectively put that out there, and had several tons of sold out events just from the marketing alone before the events are even out there, just from the marketing content that's being pushed.
How do you explain to people the difference between PR and marketing or PR marketing and advertising? And how do you get them to recognize how different they are and what the different effects are of each product because or each
Oh yes.
service?
Oh yes. Now I have a lot of clients that may come in, and a lot you have some that like to be in the forefront, that likes to be in the camera when you're talking about interviews and things of that nature. But then you have a lot of clients that's like, hey, I just want to just be in the back part of this. I don't want to be, doing interviews and everything. And so I just kind of break it down. And that usually kind of helps me when you're talking about campaigning. It usually kind of helps me with my direction, if you will. Because if you are looking for the interview kind of sector side of it, that's when we kind of slide a little bit into PR because you're going to have people that are going to want to inquire about doing interviews with you. But then you have marketing on the back end. Let's just say for those people that don't want to be like in the forefront of things, that marketing push, it's just all about how you basically grab the consumer's attention. And I think that's the cool thing about it too, is that you get to be a consumer on the back end on top of being a PR professional and marketer, and you will be able to see different results. Different people watch different things. There's different types of avenues to be able to get your brand out there. And if you're not the type of person that don't like to be on the forefront, then we have to go down that marketing sector a little more. But if you like to be in front of the camera, do other things, newspapers, things to get yourself acclimated, because again, you still have people that tune in to those avenues, then we definitely want to be able to make sure to give you that. The more eyes that we can get for your brand, the better.
What school did you go to?
I went to Tennessee State University.
Hmm.
Yes, Tennessee State University, the Tigers. my HBU that I love oh so much.
Well, I
And
was a Tiger for a minute. I went to Grambling.
you know, you're the second person from Grambling that I've bumped into within the last 6 months.
So that was a little bit of a my cousin went to Grambling. He played football for Grambling. So
Okay.
I was chasing him, and then I'm from California, so I wanted some culture because
Yeah.
you know, in the Bay Area we're very we are the
Oh, you
world.
don't get it at Grambling. Grambling is amazing. I had an opportunity one time before to actually go and do like some homecoming stuff down there, and I was like, whew, I had to recover. It took days to recover from that. So much love to Grambling. I love Grambling.
Days, girl. I'm still 20 years out, and I'm still recovering. Okay,
You still, I get it.
you
I
know,
get it.
slight addiction have to creep back out there every so often.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
yes, yes. So let me, since we're on HBCUs, let's talk about some of the opportunities there are to highlight communities, right? I've been talking more about community relations. And when you're dealing with events, different types of
Mhm.
communities, how do you get to a place where you help people recognize that their difference is actually the appeal? So now we're in a moment where HBCUs are getting the spotlight again. I'm
Yes.
sure Miss Kamala had a lot to do with that, and
Oh
everybody,
yeah.
oh my God, she went to a black college. But she been to a black college, but all of a sudden now it's so amazing, right? It's like, oh my God, black colleges,
We have to
yes, it
go.
exists. We've been here. This ain't brand new,
Yeah.
but being able to highlight that community to help uplift her campaign was something that was done pretty much in the media. How do you use people's differences and their uniqueness to help get them media attention, build visibility?
Oh, yes. I think that's the beauty part that I like to run for as far as my business. I like to see what sets you apart. I think with the world today, I remember kind of just growing up, being teased a lot because I was different, you
Mhm.
know. Now it's like different is the thing now. And so it's like I love the fact that people are not the same and the fact that they can and what they probably may have done already is contributed some great things across the earth, and I want to be the person to put that out there. It just kind of really all depends on, again, what it is that sets you apart to be able to take that and, again, uniquely tell a story and put it out there. I love working with people that has really went through a lot of things to be where they are because it just shows you and again when you're my whole goal when we're doing these type of things, even if it's just one person, is to be able to get at least someone to be able to understand, because you never know who you're helping. You never know who is needing a piece of what you do, and so we want to be able to reach that person even if it's just one.
My philosophy is if you're not sharing your story, you're just being selfish because somebody
Mhm.
out there needs to hear it. So y'all stop
I
being
love it.
selfish. But I set you up because the reason I wanted to get into that is because I know it can be very difficult sometimes for people to be vulnerable enough to let you all the way in so that you can tap into that thing that
Mhm.
allows for us to write and pitch in a way where it resonates with the journalists and their readers or
Yes.
viewers,
Yes.
right? So,
Mhm.
what is the trick to getting people to recognize that their vulnerability is actually their strength? And
Yes.
because people are they're so guarded and untrusting, but the truth of the matter is the more we try to guard that, the the less we have an
Mhm.
opportunity as PR people
Mhm.
to get that thing that resonates and connects with the audience.
Yes, yes, I agree. I would say honestly, because I noticed you used the word trick, right? Honestly, now I would say this. I wouldn't necessarily, because I would say I don't even want to use the word approach. I just like to be genuine. I like to. I want my clients to feel comfortable with me. um I don't I don't believe in just working with the client just because they're bringing forth money to the table or this is what they want. I'm not going to produce well like that. I want to be able to know you, what your mission is, what you are trying to do. And I want to get to know you as a client. The more that I know you and the more that I'm connected to you, the better I will produce. So I just believe in really good personal, interpersonal interactions with my clients because the more I feel, just for instance, such as myself, I'm grinding like it's no tomorrow, and that's simply because of my children. I just had a son, so I have two kids now. But I have a reason and my backstory being that reason as to why I want to produce or why I go the way that I go. So I want to be able to have those clients that I can really be not necessarily, and we don't have to be knee deep personal, but I want to be close to you to be able to vibe with you enough to be able to authentically tell your story where you're comfortable and we can be able to not only be able to get it what it is you want but exceed your expectations just based off what you are coming to me for as far as PR work.
I love that. But we do still have people that are guarded and won't let up. Have you actually had to deal with someone that just did not want their personal story out there? Because I don't think people recognize what all we have to do in order to get the results that they
Hmm.
want,
Hmm.
and they want to hold all their secrets close to the vest. Like what do you do when that happens? And you know what? I'll be honest with you. I was that person at one point before I wound up telling my own story. I didn't want nobody else. No, like in my business.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just wanted them to talk about my business,
Yeah.
not my business.
Well, I would definitely, me, because I just love the bonding part with my clients.
Hmm.
I like to just be able to. They don't have to tell me the whole thing because we will have dialogue back and forth as far as the content or what we're trying to push out there for your brand. Because at the end of the day, that's what I really want. At the end of the day, I want you to be comfortable in what you're doing. But I also tell them to be mindful of the results we may possibly get, meaning that we may get this or we may not get this. So it's like the more that we can be able to put out there and make ourselves more receptive to the audience, the better the results. I feel like the more relatable you can be to whomever your target audience is, the better. And so I just try to make that understanding there more than anything because at the end of the day, you're coming to me for a service. And so why would I not be honest with you and tell you and let you know if these different angles and directions that we go is really and really is it's really based off of you. We're just the middleman between your business and the people, your target audience. So it's taking what you have and being able to put it out there. So if you're not giving me much, you can't expect to get much. So
I
it's like the
like
more that you can be detailed with me or whatever, the more results we can get and be able to push that out to your target audience.
I absolutely love that. So I want y'all to know we expecting you to bring it all to the table.
Hmm.
We'll organize it. We'll make it all pretty, but you got to bring it all to the table. You can't leave
Hmm.
half of it back there in the drawer and the other half in the closet, and
Yeah,
then bring us in kibbles and bits and think that we're supposed to make rainbows out of it. Like we need
exactly.
all of it. We need all.
Exactly. Because you know what? You know what that will actually lead into if we don't get all the details? It's going to be a next step because you never know what client you're dealing with. Crisis management, that may come into play. You never know how little or more details you put out there, and let's just say you have somebody that know you. We see it all the time in media where people like, I got this information on this client XYZ, and that's the importance of being able to have that line of communication with your PR rep because if people do have stuff like that, I got to get ready to start going into crisis management because you just never know. And so it's always good. I'm not saying that you have to be Ricky like and tell me everything, but tell me enough to be able to to just, you know, be able to be there for you. It's beyond, it's more than just a public relations job. Like I'm actually a part of you at this point to be able to tell your story.
Listen,
So
Pastor, if you got some secrets that's going to take down the church, you should probably let me know. So while I'm doing this stuff, I can be prepared for this crisis PR situation
yes,
coming up.
bingo. Bingo.
You got to give
Don't
it
want to
all
be
to it.
blindsided.
And listen, our job is to hold the information that we get sacred. So it's not, we're not sharing anything that we shouldn't be. We just need the whole picture
Yes,
so that we can paint what needs to be painted for the journalist
exactly.
or the editor, or the, TV producer or whatever. But we
Yes,
need to get it to be able to paint that picture. So just wanted to
absolutely.
throw that out there. What is one of the most amazing campaigns that you've worked on?
One of my big clients, oh, when I tell you I love her so much, Cynthia Daniels. She is one of the most amazing clients that I have ever worked with. She's an event mogul and strategist here from out of Memphis, Tennessee, and she creates some of the most amazing, amazing events here in the city. And
Hmm.
I actually just got off of a campaign which is called Memphis Black Restaurant Week. Memphis is predominantly black, and we have so many people, and it's also a food city. Oh my goodness. I think I probably gained like 20 pounds within the past week. But just being able to work with her and her brands, and not only that, I've met some of the most amazing Black people here in the city that are doing some amazing things. And just being able to work with her. I mean, when I tell you she creates, I've just literally came off like a 3 week campaign doing one of her events that's just called Black Opulence, which is just a night of Black excellence. You have 7 chefs, featured chefs. Everyone comes out in beautiful gear and they come out. It's
Mm.
live entertainment and music. I mean, it's sold out in under 10 days. Then you have Memphis Black Restaurant Week. She's generated over $2 million since 2016. This is a black woman. This is a black woman that is making an economic impact, and it's just amazing. It's just amazing, and I'm just so proud of her. And not only that, extending segues to myself to be able to come in and do my thing. It's, oh, it's the girl power, but it's just the amazing things that she do. It's just great.
Doesn't that feel so good though?
It does.
Like
I mean,
I've
it
been
does.
asked, like, why do you do PR and you have other people that do PR on your platform? Listen, it's enough out there for all of us to eat. And
Hmm.
people need to decide who they want to work with. We may not have the same target audience. Even if we are, we do things differently. That's what's
Absolutely.
important for people to understand. There is enough out here for all of us to eat, and I want to see my sister succeed. I want to see
Absolutely.
all of y'all succeed. That's part of the reason I built this platform, is because I understand that if y'all are in business or you do business, you need PR. Even
Yeah,
if you don't know what that
absolutely.
is, or you don't hire a professional and you want to do it yourself, you need to understand the concept of telling your own story. And there's also rules to PR and storytelling. You need to be able to, one, be honest, two,
Yes.
be consistent, and have a
Mhm.
target audience. You can't be telling a
Absolutely.
story about something that people don't want to hear.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. And I've told people, and well, the main question that I ask when people, want to work, I'm like, and I have to be straightforward and honest. What do you have that's newsworthy? Can I take what you have and be able to make it newsworthy? And people will actually sit back and be like, this is a time where you have to reflect and kind of think about what you're, because the thing is, you have to sell me first before you can sell your target audience. So if I'm coming to you as a consumer slash PR professional, and I'm asking you, well, what do you have that I can be able to spin it and make it newsworthy? And you can't give me an answer, that's usually a red flag for me. Because it's like, what it's like, not necessarily red flag. It's just kind of gives me a segue that maybe they're not ready for
Ready for
PR yet.
PR. Yep, that's it. So
They're
listen,
not ready for PR yet.
yes,
And I think a lot of people tend to get confused with, because again, they only want the sexy part of PR. They want the red carpets, they want the lights, camera, action. But as far as what takes to get to that point, they kind of it gets blurred lines because
yeah.
people expect us to come in with the magic wand and say, voila, famous. And it's not that.
It's not.
We are basically taking again what you have and being able to put it on a bigger scale. So if you don't have anything, you can't expect for me to wave my magic wand. Why?
Listen, it makes me incredibly happy to watch your journey from the background. I like to watch people work. I like
Oh
to
my God,
watch them
thank you.
move and see where it takes them and some of the things they talk about and write about. That's intriguing to me. So I do want to let you know that you are amazing.
Oh
I
my gosh, thank
enjoy
you. Thank you.
watching your journey.
Thank you.
And I'm just really glad that you took the time to come chat with the audience today. So let them know how they can keep up with you, how they
Yes,
can get in contact with you, how they can work with you. If
yes,
they have some great events or just need some PR advice, like you're a
yes.
breath of fresh air. So please share with
Oh,
them.
thank you. Yes, I can be reached. And I'm so glad you told me the other day about my website, but we're getting that under maintenance right now. It's www.dollfacemedia.com. In the meantime, you can find me on your social media, IG at Dollface Lifestyle, and lifestyle that's LYFESTYLE, and Facebook at Dollface Public Relations. Please send me a message. I love talking to people and helping them get there. I'm never one of those types that like to withhold information. I love PR and whatever I can do to assist, I'm here.
Yeah, she is definitely one to check out. And listen, you don't have to get all your information in one place. We all want to help. And most of us that are in this industry is because we love it. It's
Yes,
kind of a sick fetish of ours. We just like
it really is. But it's such a great, I love it so much because I love, you know, it's so beautiful. And that's why I tell people about PR is the relationships that I've bonded with other PR consultants. Like you cannot be in this field and be selfish. You can't. We all need each other in this field. We are on one mission, and one goal is to be able to bring effective strategies to our clients. And I've never been the consultant that withhold information, or if you need help, or if I have a client that I can't do, but I feel that you are better for the work. I'm just one of those type of ladies that is like, hey, I know XYZ. I can point you in XYZ. We are in this together. And I've met some of the most incredible, most amazing women in this field. And I'm just incredibly, incredibly grateful.
I thank you for sharing your knowledge, for being open, being honest, and giving me a couple laughs for the day. I needed that.
Yes,
I needed
yeah,
that.
no problem. I'm all
I
about
love
being
it.
honest. You know,
I
that's
like
my
it.
thing.
Can't go wrong that way. Being
You can't.
honest, being open, and being direct about who you are, what you do, and how you get it done is
Yep.
so important. And then people can decide if they want to work with you, if they want to talk to you. I just want to be your friend, girl. I just want to be your friend.
And
So
yours too.
hopefully,
That's it. You know what I mean? Like it's you know, like although it's a business thing, again, it's the bonding and connecting. You know,
it
I've
is.
come to Cali a couple of times out of the year. I just want to know you. You know, the more that I know you, the more, because that's my nature,
Yeah.
that good Aquarian nature. But I'd like to be able to know, because the more you know, the better. That's just kind of the thing for me. And I have client, people that are out in that area, and I can't. My workload, it can be way too heavy. What's the point of being selfish? I want you to win, sis.
Hey,
So
I
I
see you.
want you to be able to make it happen, and especially if you take that and you do a great job, that makes me look good because
Everybody
I created
wins.
a referral.
Everybody
And
wins.
I want to look good at all times. And so I
I
want
love
to
that.
so if I refer you, my thing is, I know that you're gonna kill it. I know that you're gonna do the work. I know that you're gonna bring some successful things to a potential client. I want to feel confident in that.
Yeah.
And so if that gives me a segue, then I'm here for it. All kinds. Let's sprinkle all this black girl magic and let's just get these clients and make it happen.
Amen to that. Hey,
Yes.
maybe we have to meet out in at a HBCU graduate homecoming soon.
Oh, I'm always for a good turn
Humble.
up.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us today. You guys
Absolutely.
definitely tap into what she's doing, how she's moving, and I promise you will definitely learn something. So until next time, you can always find me at Tanya McKenzie PR or Sand and Shores on all social media platforms. I will see you back here next week, and you guys enjoy the week. Tap in if you need something. Take it easy.